Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble?
Are you ready to rumble? Oh,
Oh, jeez, you
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Jesus. Let me bring that down. You were clipping. Good lord.
I wasn't even that loud.
Not according to OBS. Jeez, you went into the red. It killed your audio. And so did Discord for some reason. I don't know why Discord and OBS think you're being loud. I wonder. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble? Yeah, it's not letting. I'm not clipping, but then I have that set on my end for me. I don't
Hmm.
know if I can set that for you. Though I guess the way to do it is you would need an audio interface, but that's money, and you don't have that right now, so we're not going to talk about that.
Why are you making fun of me for not having money?
You probably got more money than I do, if I'm being real, because you got better finances. Well, at least I hope you got better finances than me, because I'm younger than you.
I
We're not going
I
to get
don't
into
think
that.
I don't think I do right now.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about the sad realities of life, because we getting plenty of them.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm slowly dying on the inside. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here for the Anime4ALL podcast. Plans had initially changed. I had an idea for something that I thought we were going to do, but oh well. I'm not here to complain about it. I'm actually here to be excited about it because we are now reviewing Frieren Beyond. Wait, crap! I have it here. Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Uh, I had heard about this back when it first came out. I think in 2023 when the anime first dropped, and I remember hearing about it. Hearing good things about it because people were like all happy and they were like season one, and they were hoping that there was going to be another season. And I think they had skipped a year, and now they're in season two. I think it was 2023. Hold up. Yeah, they initially released in September of 2023. So actually, they skipped 2 years. So I think they skipped 2 years. Hold up, did this thing run into 2024? Oh yeah, it ran in 2024. When did it end? Season one come to an end, I'm wondering. March. So it went from September to March. September, October, November, December, January, February, March. That thing had a 6 month run for season one. Okay, so season two is gonna follow season one. Then it's gonna be a 6 month run for season two. But I don't know when season two even started. I'm really saying all this to say that hopefully we'll get caught up by the time season two is like over if we keep up with the show. Wait a minute, what's happening here? 28 episodes, and the first episode of season two started in January. So 6 months from now would be June. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No, I mean, maybe we'll be caught up. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll still be in season one by the time they end season two. That's if they're following the same trajectory of like episodic releases. Um, but we're here to review season one, episode one. Uh, very surprised that for me anyway, I'm very surprised that at the setup. Um, I know you have your own thoughts, so these are my thoughts. I'm excited to see what they do because so far I like Frieren as a character. Um, I will say they've kind of like taking what the little bit of what I know about elves and fantasy and really turning it on its head of like what is an elven maid to do after she does her journey. But I like Frieren as a character. She seems very ambivalent to a lot of things. I guess that's kind of where I will say I wasn't. I think I was aware of maybe you can compare her to Kino. I'm so sorry, I completely lost her name.
You know. So
I
there's this anime called Kino's Journey.
You're clipping. Hold up. Let me fix that. Jeez. Keep talking.
There's this anime called Kino's Journey,
Mm-hmm.
and the character on Kino's Journey's name is Kino, and she has this really charming motorrad that she travels with, and you'd love the motorrad like a lot. And Kino is a character in the show Kino's Journey.
I'm aware. I was just saying I lost her. I lost the name. I just lost the name. So, really quick here for people who are
Are
watching
you
the.
trying? Are you suggesting that I made fun of you for um not knowing the name Kino?
No, no, no. I would never. I would never suggest that. So, for people who are noticing the podcast has gone visual, we're doing that here again. This time, the wiki is going to be our quote unquote visual aid. This time around. Uh, so it should be a lot easier. I also have this being shared with Spear, so that way when I do swap over to something when I'm talking, uh, he'll be able to see it. And if he needs me to go someplace on here or look for a character, I can in fact do that real time. So hopefully this will be a little bit easier of a being able to talk about. And maybe I'm not even gonna lie. We're still gonna forget people's names. I think that's just like what you expect here after sticking with us for like how many seasons? 5. So woo, be prepared for a wild journey.
Mm-hmm.
But so Frieren, titular character of the show, uh, really like her. I like that basically when they introduce the show, when the first episode airs, it's just like we see the heroes coming back from their journey, every single one of them, and Frieren just kind of seems like she's just there for the ride. Um, I will say, I feel like as I was looking at her, it's kind of funny that her name starts with an F, because my elven character from D&D, his name started with an F and F. I know that was just probably coincidence. I just thought it was kind of funny that so far I've like met another elf character whose name started with an F, and I bet there's plenty more. It's just kind of funny that um she's an elven mage and I made an elven mage in D&D. I just took notice of that because I thought it was interesting. Um, Apparently, at least from the way they sound, like at least they made her sound as the group, as part of the group, that she was kind of like the even though she's an elf, so she's gonna be much older than them anyway. It seemed like she was still gullible to a certain extent. I'm not sure like how gullible or how naive she is, but it seemed like she's very indifferent to life because she'll live for a long, long time versus everybody else, and they show that. I find the way they show it kind of interesting and also kind of scary because basically humans age visibly, and because she's got a high life expectancy, she'll stay the same, and they show you that greatly. Like after like 50 years have passed, the hero of the party is like a balding man with a beard, and I'm just like, dang, they really like went hard with that. They didn't have to be so. They didn't
It's
have
funny too
to.
because she shows up and she's like, "What happened to you?" He's
I
like,
mean, yeah, she
"Time
does.
happened to me," and she's like, "Time? Are you kidding me?"
I mean, but another way they show that she really doesn't really have a good grasp on life is like when she said back before they had aged 50 years, 50 years will come again, and they can they can see the meteor shower that they had like missed, or they didn't have a good view of back at the town before. And I said, they're like, they're all gonna be dead in 50 years. Like, what are you talking about? Apparently they're not. So like they're alive, and I'm
Hmm.
like, but she also thinks 50 years is like a drop in the bucket. It's like it's interesting to have a character like this that is pretty indifferent to time. Um,
Hmm.
and I know elven creatures are supposed to be, but it's just kind of it's intriguing to see it up close like this. Like I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but it's really intriguing. I don't know about you, but for me it was very intriguing seeing it up close like this. But I was like, I thought it was pretty interesting. Uh,
What? Tell
I,
me what you mean. Like, why was it interesting to you?
again, I know elven creatures like live for a long time. That's something they beat into fantasy lore 101. Elves live
Hmm.
for a long, long time. It's just like for me, whenever I do see an elven creature, um, the character never really, if the character's an elf, doesn't really ever. They never display ability. They never display like I guess knowledge or whatever of like them knowing that they're gonna live for a long time. Not that any of these characters probably should, because it's probably not about the anime, or their age isn't really what their character's about.
Hmm.
I just find it interesting that it seems like as part of Frieren herself, they're really making the whole idea that maybe she doesn't understand or truly understand life, or or anything like that, or the concept of time. And she displays a lot of her naiveness in that, when she basically insults the hero because he aged, and she wasn't thinking about it because she stayed the same all those years. And
Uh-huh.
even brings up that she's got like a longer life expectancy than they do. I just thought it was like it was something they didn't need to do, because I'm pretty sure they're not gonna really. Well, I can't say they're not gonna use the whole her living for a longer part of the show. I kind of unfortunately
Hmm.
know about one of the characters, because, but not unfortunately, as I was like being shown things through YouTube, I just happened to see that some characters are older. I won't say much more on that. But Frio's an interesting
I
character.
think I found it strange that Frieren, having lived for God knows how long, and she was lived long enough where like 10 or 100 years means nothing to her. So you figure she's probably somewhere in the thousands, you know what I mean, of years old at the beginning of the episode. Um, it makes me wonder, like, how did she go so long without like ever learning about how time impacts non-elves? Like, didn't she see like, I don't know, like a tree grow at some point and wonder what was going on with that? Hey, what's all this about trees getting bigger and then dying over the course of 500 years? Like, I didn't. It was a cute thing to explore, but like, I would have liked an explanation as to like why she has never come across the concept of like for example, owned a pet squirrel and like saw that it grew old and died and like didn't think that applied to like other things too, you know?
I don't think her ambivalence to like time is like really I think she sees it. She's just like, it's a part of like I think it's a part of the whole elf thing of like time. Honestly, I think all elves would act like this in reality if that was how their race kind of like went on. It's like time doesn't really matter, because like they live for so long. Like
It's
eventually,
not that it
like,
doesn't matter. It's just like, how did she travel the world collecting spells for what I imagine must be at least thousands of years and never have like a moment where like it occurred to her that time passes?
how old is she? Oh, she's a
Because
thousand plus years. Good lord. Okay.
she's got to be at least 1,000 plus years because when she talks about things, she says like 100 years isn't a big deal to her. Even if you lived indefinitely, it would take a while to get to the point where you thought 1,000, 100 years wasn't very long.
It's probably she's indifferent. She probably didn't really care. As far as I could tell, the way she talked about it, yeah, like at this point she doesn't care, or she never realized how, yeah, if it impacted, if it, like how it impacted her with relationships, because it sounds like she didn't really have much of one till she spent like 10 years traveling with the group. I think it was 10 years. Yeah, they were on the road for 10 years together, and for some reason, none of them made an impact on her. At least not until 50 years after their adventure was over, when she came back after learning spells, to talk with Himmel, and then Himmel, the hero dude, he ends up passing away, and then she's like, at first, at the funeral, she isn't really feeling anything, but I think it's because she's not really thinking about it. Because as she's thinking
Mhm.
about it, that's when she breaks down and actually kind of cries for the first time. Like, and again, it's probably a part of her journey. We'll probably see, because it sounds like the whole idea of her not understanding humans is gonna be a part of her character arc. I guess I don't really know,
Mhm.
but I guess, yeah, it is strange that she went that long. I'm not gonna sit there and say I didn't think it was strange that she didn't understand humans, or, but it's interesting that she understands she doesn't understand it, and she wants to. So I think that's kind of cool that she understands what her flaw is. Her flaws are.
Mhm.
Um, I guess speaking of Frieren and how she talks about people, I will go back to. I kind of find it interesting the way she refers to the priest. She keeps on calling him corrupt priest throughout most of the first episode. Actually, not most of the episode, the entire episode. She doesn't stop. Um, I thought that was interesting how she sees certain people. It makes you kind of curious. Why does she see the priest as corrupt? I mean, yeah, he drinks a lot, but I don't know if I say him drinking has anything to do with him being corrupt. But she
Yeah,
kind
they
of like,
seem to really hold him to a unnecessarily high standard. I don't think like drinking automatically means corruption.
well, she keeps referring to him as a corrupt priest, and even long after he's retired, she still refers to him that. But I guess another thing too I find interesting is like, when they meet again in near the holy
Hmm.
city where he's staying on the outskirts. He meets
I
her
think they
again.
were also like just using that as a tool to show how well they knew each other, that they had running jokes and stuff like that.
I guess like that probably the reason why they had her. It just kind of found it interesting that she kept on saying it. I felt like after some point, you wouldn't need to keep on rubbing a joke like that in. But I guess maybe that's just her. But what I also find really interesting is like after they meet again after 50 years after their journey ends, and they meet again 50 years later to see the stars in a different in a like in a different location that's clearer. Uh, I had a thought and completely lost it. Um,
Hmm.
I know it was like during after then when she meets him again after I think 50 years has passed. Well, not 50 years, like maybe like 10 have passed since then. She meets the priest near the Holy Land, and he brings up that he wants her to. Well, at first he wants her to take on a young apprentice, the young girl named Fern, that he's taking care of underneath her care to help her learn and grow stronger as a mage. When
Hmm.
Frieren denies, like says that no, she doesn't want to do that, and she says she doesn't want to do it for a good reason. I mean, like, yeah, she doesn't want to put somebody in harm's way, and apparently mages die much easier, which I guess makes sense. Die easier than any other. Um, he does make another request for her, which is to see about some like uncover some book that should hold key to immortality. And I thought that was
Hmm.
interesting because she even brings up the fact that like, why you care about immortality? You said you didn't really care if you died or not, a few years back. And he's like, well, I was kind of lying, like, and my idea on it has kind of changed. I just
Hmm.
thought it was interesting. Like, why are you suddenly interested in immortality? And then she kept on calling you corrupt. I started having some headcanon. I was like, are you going to be a villain in the future?
Oh, definitely not.
I mean, I don't know, dude. It just feels like why there's I'm getting red flags, and they're probably like not even like they're probably red herrings, but I'm just saying it just seems kind of weird that all of a sudden Hyder suddenly cares about immortality. Uh, it could be just a red herring. I just find it interesting that he suddenly cares about immortality now all of a sudden, even though we just said he was lying. So I mean, I guess I have to take that to account there too. But and then the other dude, I think his name was Hemdell or whatever, that dwarf dude. No, Elson. Oh, Eisen. Sorry, freaking mispronounced his name. Well, first of all, I want to bring up that man, his name triggered me specifically for people who know Bleach. You know. But I didn't know he was a dwarf, and on top of that, he didn't change much either. So I'm guessing I did not know. Oh, he's 100 plus years old. I was not aware that dwarves didn't age the same rate as humans. I don't know why I didn't
Mm.
know that, but
It's
well,
generally that's generally the case in most mythos. The dwarves live to be like 400 or 500 years old. Elves are immortal, and humans live human lifespans. That's generally how things are built in
wait, elves
most
are immortal.
fantasy worlds. Generally, yeah.
I've heard the elves have lifespans. I wasn't aware that they've in some situations they're immortal. Jeez, that's
Like in Tolkien, for example, Lord of the Rings, they're immortal.
that's got to be a sad existence.
They can be killed, but they're not going to die of natural causes.
That's still got to be a sad existence.
They seem to
Like
enjoy it. Elves generally seem fairly happy with themselves.
I mean, not the only reason why they're happy with themselves because they live in elven society. I don't think they interact with much else unless like forced to. But
Oh.
but yeah, Eisen here, I find him kind of interesting that he was like a warrior, but like after they dispersed after their meeting for like with meeting each other for like the meteor shower. Frieren brings that she's gonna go on a journey, more of a journey now. After this, and then she offers to take Eisen with her, but then Eisen's like, "Oh, I'm too old." I just thought that was funny because he doesn't look all that old. But I mean, I guess again, I don't know Elven biology, so I wouldn't. I mean, not Elven. I don't know Dwarven biology, so and again, I didn't know that they didn't age at the same rate. So that's news to me. I guess I should have known that because they're not human, but I just thought the back of my mind I was like, silly me, they don't age at the same rate. But I guess it makes sense because of their
Halflings,
stature.
halflings, if you go by Lord of the Rings, live to be a little bit older than humans. Like they can live to be like 110, which is pretty rare for a human. And I don't really know if there's any other. I can't think of any other species that's whose age is pretty very well documented. I think that's pretty much. I don't like for gnomes, for example. I can't think of any documentation about average lifespan for a gnome or an orc or anything like that. But yeah, it's generally elves are measure their lives in centuries or are immortal.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying, just like I guess I just never thought about dwarves, and I would suspect that orcs and everybody else that wasn't human have different lifespans. At least that's what I would expect if there's already like two species already with their own. But yeah, I mean, I'm not the one making the world up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so really quick introduction here is the hero party was the legendary group of adventurers consisting of a human hero, Himmel, dwarven warrior Eisen, priest Hyder, and elven mage Frieren, who defeated the Demon King after a 10-year long journey. The party was dissolved after they returned to the royal capital, and they reunited 50 years later for one final adventure to see the era meteors. I guess Himmel
Mm-hmm.
really quick because I'm already here. Old. This was such a drastic change. Like when I saw him, I was like, "Good lord, man! Like you couldn't keep your hair. Like this has got to be the biggest downgrade." Well, I mean, I guess not really. I mean, like in fantasy, you get a beard like that, you're considered epic. But like, good lord, like from this to this, like all your hair from your head, your scalp went to your face and then turned white.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Do you
almost like
think
a
the
different.
curtains match the drapes?
I don't want to think about that. Um, but this is such a drastic change in character. Like, look at this to this. There's no
Mm-hmm.
way you would have known this was him when he was younger. While I get that's normal, at the same time, it's like he looks like an elderly mage or something or a sage. Like
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't look like a hero.
Or
Like
even a priest, maybe, or something. Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't. It's just like this is such a drastic change. Like if it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't for his voice actor kind of sounding the same, I wouldn't have known that these were the same character.
Right.
It's like I will like. I mean, this is not me making fun of him. I just found it interesting. Oh, he was in his 20s. So if they were on a 10-year adventure, he was 16 when they set out. Okay, jeez. He died at 76. Wait. He died in 76 years of age. Um, then this dude who he doesn't look like he changed all that much.
Yeah, I felt thrown by that a little bit, honestly.
He got older, that's for sure. He got wrinkles and everything. Yeah, he's got wrinkles where they should be. His hair kind of grayed. Yeah, he's kind of blonde here actually, so I guess his hair did gray. Yeah, it's got He's got the Full Metal Alchemist gray. He's got the Full Metal Alchemist blonde hair. Uh, eh, you can make an argument. There might be the lighting. I don't know, but I think he definitely did gray hair. But yeah, there wasn't much of a change there. And of course, Himmel did not Himmel, but Eisen didn't change, and neither did Frieren. Um,
Eisen changed, just not visibly. I think it's all under all the hair. Because he talks about how he slows down and he's too old to swing an axe now and stuff like that. I think you just can't tell because all you can see is like a little speck of his eyes. And I guess his hair color didn't change, but I think he's like functionally like 50 or 60 years old now if he was a human. You know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, I just didn't see it, so I'm gonna claim that he didn't really change that much. But I mean, I understand what you're talking about. Just like I would have preferred if they were gonna do that to me. That at least show me where he changed. But whatever. Um, trying to see. Not trying to look at too much. Just so we. But like the episode was a really good setup. I would look at Fern, but at the same time, I can talk about it because I don't know. I don't know. Do you mind if I click on Fern? Because she looks older here. I just don't want. I don't want you seeing what you don't want to see.
I'll just flip out of the screen.
As like, well, I just want to. Okay, I got her in her. I got her in her young, her young image here.
Okay.
So you don't have to see much. I'll just click this here. So at the end of the episode, when we talk about we get to Hyder, and like Frieren kind of gets talked into, bring her in as a younger apprentice. She kind of gets. I guess she kind of like she kind of ends up taking a liking to her near the end of the episode because Fern when she first meets Fern, she meets Fern out in the woods because Fern's collecting stuff for Hyder to make dinner or lunch, whatever they're trying to do. It seems like even though he's taking care of Fern seems to be taking care of him. To somewhat distinct. I mean, he's giving her housing and whatnot, but like I think he preferred Fern was somebody who could probably take care of her a little better. He probably can, but I thought it was interesting because apparently he said that she was a orphan. I forget exactly what the wording he used after that, but he's like she was an orphan, so something happened to her parents, and ever since then he had been taking care of her. And apparently she has got like high magic aptitude, and he can only teach her so much being a priest. And he tried to get him free and to take her under her wing, and she didn't want to. At the end of the episode, Frieren ends up because she's ending up taking care of her a little bit, teaching her magic that she thinks she sees fit. And I guess she doesn't really get a chance to teach her anything until she finds her in the on near a cliff, hidden, and apparently Frieren could barely detect where she was at, and apparently the priest couldn't at all figure out where she was at. But Frieren comes that she's got really good like magic mana harmonic control. Is like out of this world apparently, and then apparently Frieren is training to hit the rock from across the distance over this large cavern, and apparently she almost does it. I mean, I'm just like, good lord, like how far is that? Because she doesn't make it always to the end, and that actually impresses Frieren, and then causes her to ask her like, "Do you like magic?" And she's like, "Oh, something that I can do." Like, and then apparently Frieren's like, "Oh, this is where we this is where we this is like where we are the same person or something like that, or we had the same interests," and then that's where the episode ends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing either one or two things is going to happen. There's going to be a time skip, and yet again, Freeman's going to look the exact same, and Fern's going to look older, or I don't know what's going to happen. That's my guess. Is going to happen in episode 2. I'm guessing
Frieren
she's going.
seemed her look at the end of it looked like she was quite fond of the little girl after all. So
Yeah, I mean, Frieren, like, yeah, she shows like, I mean, she says after she asked her a question about being a major, I'm using magic, and she's like, well, it's something I can do, and she just like apparently liked that answer, which was interesting. But I'm guessing maybe Frieren, I guess, likes like had that exact same thought process on her learning magic too. I'm guessing, like it's something I can do. But yeah, I like that. I like Fern. Like I'm interested in finding out why she's so good if they're ever going to explore that. I happen to see some images over the years about something going on. I don't know when and where they happen, or if I even saw what I thought what I saw. So I'm still in the dark. It's really interesting. Like I really wish I had watched this sooner, because I like the show and what they're doing so far. Um, but I definitely did see a little bit of Kino inside Frieren, but I didn't see a lot of it.
Just the traveler and the person that's kind of detached, and Kino and her are both a little bit perfect. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, like Kino doesn't make mistakes. Kino doesn't is kind of naive about the world and kind of looks at everything with wide eyes, even though she's super intelligent and should be smarter than that usually. Um, Stuff like that. Kino is usually overqualified for anything she does.
Speaking on Kino really quick in this show. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you not like the colors? Is it
Of
too colorful
Frieren?
for you? Yeah, Frieren.
No, I actually really like the artwork. The only thing the and this is really tiny and not a big deal to me was her eyebrows. The way that you can see her eyebrows drawn through her hair. I think that's the only thing that bugged me a tiny bit, and it wasn't that big of a deal.
You haven't seen enough anime.
I've seen that happen before, but it's never something I've been fond of.
You can see eyebrows on girls' foreheads underneath their hair. I mean, I'm just saying I've seen it like in real. Like, I wouldn't say real life, but like I feel like you can see where eyebrows are on their head, even through the hair. But that's just me. I mean, it's bangs, it's bang work, and you say you're not bothered by it, not bothered by that by too much. I'm just saying. I think I've seen that or some remnants of it someplace, but that's fine. I more of like said the color thing because I know you had an issue with the Kino Journeys remake and the colorfulness. While I enjoyed it, you didn't exactly like it that much. So I just wanted to poke at that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's freaking cool. On the dwarf, I saw something on there that I kind of wish I hadn't, but it helped me figure out where another character is gonna come from. But well, that's a spoiler. Never mind. We'll screw it. I'm not gonna say anymore. But I like Fern. Can't wait to see more of what she does. Apparently, I'm guessing she's 9 right now. I don't think they ever said
Mm-hmm.
her age, but it looks like according to this in chapter 2, she's 9. Um, I don't really got much more to say unless you got more that you want to say or comment on.
I can check my notes super fast. Probably not a ton. Let me check my notes really quickly here. I didn't take many notes on it. It was more like absorbing the vibes. I thought the continent at 130 that they drew, like the continent, north and southern parts and everything, felt like America to me. Did you get that vibe at all?
No,
That it looked like it was somewhat designed after America?
nope.
No? Why not?
No,
Go take a look at it. So, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
crap. I wanted to. Nope. Okay.
Do you see it now?
That's the intro. Nope, that's the one I want. I see it in the overview. I always have this issue. Why did it? Okay. That's in the wrong area. But I guess I don't know. I just thought it was a like fictional landmass. I know that's what it is, but I'm just saying that like I didn't make any comparisons to America.
No. It looked like North America, South America, and Central America in a lot of shapes. Like I could, when I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, and that would be Alaska, and that would be Florida, except Florida is like in reverse, and it's water sticking into America instead of out. South America looks very much like South America. Like the area that would be South America looked very much like South America to me. It's not 1 to 1. California looked slightly California-ish. Canada looked like Canada to me. Um, there was definite differences, but it looked like it was sort of vaguely inspired by the Americas. And there was a north, a south, and a central, just like there is with our continents.
The only argument about that,
Um,
why would a manga made in Japan use America as? But that's my only argument against it. That's just me. That's just
uh,
personal
maybe they
bias.
just maybe they just like the shape of it. But I don't know. It just sort of had that reminiscent feeling. Um, Most of my notes are really basic. Like I wrote episode 1 and already someone's dead of old age. LOL. Frieren has no idea what people are. LOL. um, I don't know. I had a good vibe. The show kind of took its time. It was meditative. They did the Kino's journey thing of like establishing that someone was an incredible fighter while being minimalist on the actual fight scenes. Like you could tell Frieren was extremely powerful, but like you weren't given much of a sample of it. Just like in Kino's journey, there's always that Kino's journey, like there's always that lingering threat, that sense of danger, about everywhere she goes. But they also kind of really they do a lot to establish excuse me, how powerful Kino would be if she was forced into a fight. You know what I mean? That like at the very least she's gonna take a chunk out of somebody. So I don't know.
I'm curious if they're going to do the magic circle thing because I want to know if it's going to take if she's capable. It looks like magic is more instantaneous in this world, so I don't think they're going to need the chant unless they need something really powerful. And maybe I don't know, like what Frieren's. I'm not sure what Frieren. I'm not sure what magic Frieren's gathered yet. So I suspect there's going to be fights with her using said magic. Um, I'm very curious if the magic circle thing's going to play out because if it does, the magic is going to look freaking beautiful in this show. And I'm very excited to see it because I am a huge proponent of magic in anime. The
Mm-hmm.
last show that I've seen that, in my opinion, did magic really well, and a lot of people are gonna scoff at this, but I don't care. Fairy Tale, that show with some of the things that people don't like, did magic in those fights amazingly. Even
Mm-hmm.
like the incants that they did in that show was freaking beautiful because like the magic circles. Now, granted, they stopped doing the magic circles at some point, but when they did the magic circles, it was beautiful. So my suspicion is that maybe we're going to do that here, but I don't think they are based off the magic that Fern did. Like my suspicion is that maybe they're not, which is disappointing, but we'll see. I mean, it's not going to be a deal breaker. Just like I would, the more shows that use magic circles, I think they're better off because like it's I love the spectacle of magic and fights. So it's like if they can get it right, then that'd be great.
I think it was kind of cool too how like surprising and explosive the little girl's burst of magic was at the very end.
Well, I mean, they kind of like foreshadowed that she was good. I mean, they said that I mean, the priest said that her mana, she's very skilled, but unfortunately, he can't teach her much. So like, I mean, like when he said that, I was like, oh, I wonder what that means. And then he says, Frieren, I want you to teach her, which I guess shows like if he does know her as well as we think he knows her, the fact that he's asking her to train her specifically must mean something.
Yeah,
So
that
like,
he sees something in her.
yeah, but also I will agree with you that the burst of magic she did, I was like, good lord, she's only how old? She's like she's capable of that right now. Like it looks like she might be capable a lot more when she gets older.
Mm-hmm. So, and that was funny too because she comes in, she's like, "And I'm here to repay my debt," and he's like, "Oh, I've got like 5 things that you could do for me."
Maybe that's why he's corrupt. Maybe he's a greedy dude. I don't know.
He's like, why don't you do this enormous task? And she's like, no, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. And he's like, okay, well, I've got another one for you. And then while you're doing that, maybe you could do this. You know, I thought it was funny because she's like, look, dude, I just came here to like put a bottle of alcohol on your grave. And he's like, I don't drink that stuff anymore. But why don't you like spend the next 10 years training this girl? You know?
Did he say 10 years? Well, I guess based on how much magic she Frieren has, it's like I guess
Well, he
it
gave her
could
the
take.
book and said like, could you like figure this book out? And she said it would probably take me 10 years. And he goes, you know, as long as it takes. And then
I thought she said
like that
5.
doesn't bother. Well, whatever.
I
Five,
know the
whatever.
number doesn't matter. I know what you're trying to get. I know the point you're trying to make. I'm just saying. I thought she said something else. I just want to
It's
make
just the
sure.
fact that he's like, you know, you spending 5 years is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. And he's like, oh, also, while you're doing that for 5 years, could you also do this for the same 5 years? You know, and he's not being pushy about it, but he's certainly like, you know, oh, if you owe me a favor, like I'm certainly gonna cash in. You know.
I would say I guess in the animation here really quick about Frieren's age and how she's young. It's interesting how young like, they do draw her. Even with the ears, she's kind of like got like fat around her cheeks,
Mm-hmm.
like a very young trait that they years. What was that?
Elven years are just years. Like they don't.
No, something else happened. I was like, what the heck happened? I think we're dropping. Are you serious? What the heck happened? That was strange. You can see what you're saying. Elven years are just years. I just like something like my attention was immediately drawn when I saw a flickering on my screen. I don't know why I'm showing this on screen. Any important information on here that I don't want people to see? All right. I just like find interesting how they draw her. I get that Elven year. I mean, Elven years are a little bit longer though. Like Elven years are like a number of human years. It's just like so they're not normal years. It's just I just thought like
I
based on how young
I
she's
think
looking.
I think Frieren might be immortal. I think she's like can be killed, but she's not going to die of natural causes or age.
I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm not gonna make it. I mean, you know more about the a fantasy elf thing than I do. So I'm just gonna take what you say as like. He's like, okay, if that is definitely how they're meaning for her to be, like, oh, I don't know how I ultimately feel about her being an immortal, but I guess we'll see as the show progresses. If that's what she is, immortal. But yeah, I like Frieren. I like Fern. The hero party was interesting, even though we didn't really get much with them. But I mean, they were at the end of their journey, so that's to be expected. I did find it interesting too. I guess as we close out
It
here.
kind of made me think of One Punch Man, where like the joke of Punch Man is he's an anime character at the end of an anime, so like but put at the beginning of an anime, and you know where they're in their final form and everybody else is still like you know beginning of anime storyline. Frieren had that vibe for me too. That like she's an end of an anime character stuck at the beginning of an anime.
I would agree if only she wasn't going to get stronger as a result of her learning spells. But I mean, that's just the way
Mhm.
I'm thinking about things. I can definitely see the end of the anime thing. I mean, I'm expecting that from what I'm understanding about her, she's really freaking powerful. So we'll see a lot more of that. I also will say I'm not gonna caveat. I'm not gonna caveat my whole like magic circle thing with. I know that there are other ways for like magic to look spectacular. So I'm expecting something eventually because it seems like it's gonna be one of those high octane magic shows. I hope, but I'm like I want to see because like I mean at least the way they drew that one spell that Fern threw out gives me
Mhm.
hope for something on a grander scale. As somebody that likes seeing magic in a show, so like my eyes are open after seeing that they really wanted you to see that Fern was really powerful at her young age. So like, I'm okay. We'll see like what happens, with her later on. But yeah, I like Fern. I like Frieren. I like. I want to keep on. Is that his name? Himmel? Yeah, Himmel. Even though he dies, and I would not get over just like the drastic change of his character.
It took
I
her a minute to
understand.
feel bad about it. At first, she like wasn't like absorbing what happened, and then she started crying like much later.
Oh yeah, I mean, I brought that up earlier that she's been with these people, but apparently it didn't really click on what they meant to her until like Himmel was gone.
Uh-huh.
Now she wants to try to understand humans to understand Himmel. I'm like, geez. Well, I mean, I'm glad he had an impact on you, even though it was kind of late. I mean, I guess it's kind of how it is with sometimes with people that pass away. Sometimes you don't realize how important they were to you until they're gone, and then that's even the worst. That's the worst time they realize it. Um, but that was interesting how it kind of just like if it pushed her on her new journey, which was like understanding humans. Um, I can't wait to see the other party. I already kind of seen the other party member she's gonna be. Um, didn't see him when they first met, so that's gonna be interesting too. Since apparently she's meeting characters as children now, so that's gonna be interesting when they get older.
Yeah.
Considering that she's already 1,000 years old, it's like,
And she'd be like, "Oops, I blinked. You're gonna die of old age now."
geez. I think with
Silly,
that,
silly me.
dang it. With that, unless you have anything else to add, I think maybe this is a good time part as any. We are wow,
I
that
think
went by
it's
quickly.
a
But
really good time.
yeah, no problem. I can't wait to see episode 2, which we'll review next week. We were only live for not even close to an hour.
Yeah, but
But
we got the job done. I would give it another half an hour. I wouldn't have had a lot more to say.
no, I'm not
I
saying
mean
no the
this.
bad thing. I'm surprised.
Yeah, sorry. Post
No, it's no
surgery
problem.
me doing my best with my post surgery. I showed up. I saw the anime. I'm really tired and it's been a rough couple weeks, but I'm sorry that I could only could talk with you for 2 hours and 20 minutes today.
First of all, we didn't crack an hour, and second of all, you're not gonna
We
make me
talked.
seem like the
We
bad
started.
person. You're not
We
gonna.
started talking at exactly 9 o'clock because I was a giant jerk about it. Because you know full well I'm usually 10 to 15 minutes late, and I showed up on time and I like spammed you at exactly 9 o'clock saying where the hell are you? So we know full well that it was exactly 9 o'clock, and we know that by the time we finally hang up, it's going to be 11:20. So 2 hours and 20 minutes is exactly how long it takes. Just
You're
because you
not.
talked about a video game for an hour and 20 minutes doesn't mean that I wasn't here for the whole time.
I'm not saying there's a time limit. I'm just saying that the podcast itself it hasn't is an hour, which is the usual. Well, actually, no, the usual is like 2 hours. We're not gonna get into that,
Why you
but
gotta make me feel bad?
you're
You
not.
gotta make me
No, you're
feel.
not gonna make me feel
I'm
bad. No,
sorry. I'm
you're not gonna
sorry
make
I
me
had
the.
surgery. I'm sorry that I had surgery
Nope,
and that maybe I'm
nope.
I'm not full up
Yeah,
yet.
no, we're not. No, we're not doing this. Good night, everybody. See you guys next week. Actually, no, correction. See you guys Thursday, I think, because the pot from Metroid, and then see you after. Then after that, see you next week.